My name is Francesco Vasquez. I'm an intensive care consultant at Guy's and St. Thomas's.
My name is Dan Taylor. I'm a critical care and ECMO consultant, and I'm also resident doctor co-lead with my colleague Francesca. When Francesca and I took over the role, it was clear that the current mechanism we were using was just unfit for the modern workforce.
5 different rotas for about 85 doctors, covering 78 all-time equivalents.
It was held together with post-it notes, Excel spreadsheets, forwarded emails, and with the complexity of our rotas, it clearly wasn't feasible. Everything was really a compromise, and either the trainees lost out or we did at the expense of having to fill those gaps with locums. The other real big problem we had was that in order to try and mitigate against the risk of gaps, we would generally end up having to over recruit, and that obviously comes at expenditure.
It made us reflect and start thinking about ways to change it. Couldn't really find an alternative until we came across Lantum.
It seemed to meet our needs because the people who ran it knew what the issues were because they'd been through it. It really appeared to care about the well-being of the workforce.
You can see their passion, you can see the dedication, you can see their mission.
We were sort of asked to provide our most challenging rota, which gives us the most headaches in terms of workforce. We were really impressed by how tailored and bespoke we could actually make the requests.
When we saw it, initially it was a bit of a shock because it was like, oh my God, it's happening.
The biggest benefits we've noticed is a significant reduction in gaps.
I think in the first 6 months, we're probably able to save something in the region of £30,000. That is mainly by accommodating doctors working less than full time without having to squeeze in them within a shared rota slot. 100% of the requests of study leave had already been approved.
And their annual leave requests were granted, I believe, in over 99% of occasions. It's been a huge time saver, and the trainees are happier knowing where they are now for the next 3 to 6 months. We've noticed far fewer needs for swaps. We seem to have seen maybe even less sickness as such.
The system had been stress tested. A doctor working full time had asked and obtained to be off for 6 consecutive weeks. And for doctors working less than full time, doctors with special needs, family needs, medical conditions, to be able to feel welcome in our department.
The rolling rota patterns are not fit for purpose anymore. The modern workforce is changing, and you either change now or you'll be forced to change down the line, I suppose.
It can allow doctors to empower themselves and become the masters of their own rota.
If the resident doctors are content, then I think everything else falls into place.